Hello, welcome to How to Play Gin Pro, a game for two players. Now, this game is pretty much the same as any standard Gin Rummy. If you need a review on it, there's going to be a video at the end of this video that will teach you the game, but for the most part, you're just trying to get 10 cards melded to have Gin, or you're trying to make the knock limit for your cards that are not melded to be 10 or less. We're playing the standard Gin rules of this. We're just going to knock it with a knock limit of 10. You can play this with the Oklahoma rules applied to it, but basically you're going to need a cribbage board, a deck of cards, and I recommend having a rummy card holder. It just makes the game that much easier. And basically what we're doing, we're playing a standard game of Gin Rummy to 121 points. So whoever gets more than 120 points wins the game. Now, the other caveat is the amount of points that your opponents score determines how many games you win. So a standard close game of Gin Rummy will only result in one game being won. But if your opponent has 61 to 90 points, you'll win 2 games. If you have if your opponent has 31 to 60 points, you'll win 3. If they have 0 to 30 points, you'll win 4 games. Now you're playing this until somebody can win 7 games. And so the rules dictate that whatever the score is at the end of the game, whatever the opponent's score is how many more additional games that you'll win more than one. And so it makes an interesting variant for Gin Rummy. You get to use a cool cribbage board. You're playing games to 120 points as opposed to the standard 250 that most Oklahoma Gin games play. Like I said, if you want to apply the Oklahoma knock rule to indicate double points or what card you can and cannot knock at, that's your choice. We played today's game with the standard rules, and it was a fun experience. This is a very, very good Gin Rummy variant to consider playing with. I seem to have really liked it. I wish I would have seen it sooner. It does require a little bit more equipment. Now, you don't necessarily need to have a cribbage deck. This will work just as well on paper. The cribbage deck is just some way to use your cribbage board that normally you wouldn't use. So there, North 1, we have North on the red track with the blue pin so we can see it easier on camera. So now we're just shifting the deal every time in Gin Rummy. The first player deals and the second player deals. The deal goes back and forth. You take turns dealing. Whoever the non-dealer has the first option of the card. They can either take it or pass it. If they pass it and the other player also passes, then the top of the deck will go to the non-dealer. Top card from the deck will go to the non-dealer. You're just trying to meld your cards to either sets or runs. Very, very simple game. Does not take a whole lot to learn the rules. Now, strategy is a different thing to consider. It is a fun game, and this, I think, is a really fun variant. And I really love Gin as a game. It's so easy, so simple to teach anybody off the street. You can have a game in 5 minutes. And we have another knock. And that's the signal for a knock in Gin, is to put your card face down when declaring a knock. So, like I said, deal passes to each player. Each player takes a turn dealing, shuffling the cards, and dealing out 10 cards to each player. Gin scores 25 points. A knock scores the difference in deadwood. Big Gin scores 31 points plus the difference in deadwood, and the difference in deadwood also applies to Gin. So if you had a deadwood of 5 points, you had just a 5 left over, you're about to get Gin, your opponent declares Gin, well, they would get 25 plus the 5, they'd have 30 points. If they had Big Gin, they'd get 31 plus the 5, they'd have 36. Real simple game, real fun. If you decide to knock and your deadwood is less than what your opponent has, you will get undercut, which basically gives a Gin bonus of 25 points plus the difference in your deadwood. Really fun game. I always enjoy it. Love teaching new people this game. It's one of those 2-player card games that it's going to be around forever because it's just so easy to learn and so much fun to play. Not too much skill because it is a simple rummy game. It's a back and forth, kills time. You're waiting for a plane to take off or whatever, and you're waiting to board the airplane at the airport. You have a long wait. Deck of cards. Teach this game to somebody. You'll have a good game on your hands. Might meet new lifelong friends. You never know. It's always worth it to have a deck of cards on you. And now we see we have a winner. So the difference in points is going to be, looks like I scored 30 points on that, so they'd win 4 games. They really cleaned my... So normally we keep going until one player has won 7 games, but this is the end of the demonstration for today. I hope you pick up this game and like it, and it's a pretty good version of Gin Rummy. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. So if you like playing card games out in public, do consider coming to our subreddit Card Game Meetups, and do consider coming to our Discord channel where we talk about card games all day, every day. And do check out these other content creators. They make some wonderful content and present new games, commercial games, free games, roll and rice, dice games, all sorts of games. And if you are going to Branson, Missouri, I highly recommend the Branson Board Game Cafe. It's a wonderful experience. You ought to plan a whole entire day there. You can play some new games to you, play some games with other people that you've never met. So do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. And I do want to thank today's musician at Partita 7 for their cover of I Saw the Light. Do check out their channel. They only have 116 subscribers. I hope we can get them some more, and I'll see you next video.